Welcome everybody for this webinar for the master program in automation and electrical engineering. So today we have many professors as well as the people from the learning service to give you this information about this very interesting program. And maybe we go forward. So yes, so my name is Zhou Chen. I'm the program director, and also we have many professors. Probably everybody can open the mic to say hello.
Yes,
Hi.
hello, I'm Simo. Nice to meet you all.
Hi, I'm Johnny.
Hello, my name is Marco. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Ali. I'm from the Learning Services.
Hello, this is Rangit. I'm a second year master's degree student.
Okay, great. So maybe we can go forward and I give some a brief introduction about aalto-University as well as this program. So aalto-University is actually kind of a young but also old university. So it is have rooted to three kind of university with a long history. So the first one is this Helsinki University of Technology, which founded in year of 1849. And another one is this University of Art and Design Helsinki, founded in year 1871, as well as this Helsinki School of Economics, founded in the year of 1911. So these three universities has kind of merged together at the year of 2010 and formed this aalto-University. So it's kind of a young university with a long history, and it's also very versatile, combining technology, arts, and economics. And aalto-University is actually well ranked. So based on the recent QS World University Ranking 2025, so we are the best university in Finland, and also it's ranked number 114 globally. And according to this Leiden Ranking Industry Corporation last year, so we are also the number 23rd university of this industry corporation. And it is also ranked as the number 51 of the most international university in the world. So we are a highly internationalized university for both the students and also the teaching staff, the professors and the lecturers. And aalto-University is good, but also this program, automation and electrical engineering, is also highly ranked. So we are ranked the number between 76 to 100 in electrical engineering by the Shanghai ranking last year, and also the number 12 by this more European Edge rank 2024, and by the QS ranking of this year, 132 in electrical engineering in the world. And this aalto-University is also sitting in a very kind of natural and also vibrant environment. So you can see the campus is near the sea. So of course the picture is a bit darkish, but then you can see the campus is on the water side, and it's also very close to several important districts like this Keilaniemi business district and this Ruoholahti business district, which has kind of the headquarters of many important companies. Many of them are global players like Gone and so on. So many important companies. And also it's quite near to this Meilahti Health Campus, where this medical and hospital are situated, and as well as to this Helsinki University. And the campus where the aalto sits is not only aalto-University, but also this VTT, this National Research Institute of Finland. So this is very much a high-tech kind of campus with many companies and institutes surrounding it. Next, yes. And of course, the campus is not only with these organizations, but it's also a great place for the students. So firstly, this is a kind of multidisciplinary community. So we have students from arts, from business, and also as well as, of course, from technology. So this kind of multidisciplinary is really kind of inspiring and kind of maintaining or inspiring this innovation culture. And campus also has a very nice learning space. They have area libraries, student hub for independent work, and many laboratories and studios and workshops. And we also have this affordable student housing provided by this AYY, this Student Union of Aalto University, and as well as this student housing organization. And there are also guild rooms, event ventures, and also sport facilities like Otahali, and also the sauna and many more. And the campus also recently renovated, pretty modern, and we have a kind of good restaurants, cafeterias, almost in every building, and also there's gyms, also a paper shop, and also grocery stores, as well as a metro station and tram lines. So this really supports this kind of modern mass transition. And it's also rather close to the nature. So there's actually a nature reserve just outside actually my window, so near the campus. And also it's very close to the city center. There's about 10 to 15 minutes metro travel. So it's easy to reach the city center and to not besides study, you also have the time to live in this capital area of Finland. And actually, we also have a very well-built virtual tower of Aalto University. So there's this link is provided in the slide, and it's actually very nice to see that the different, say, buildings, and also what kind of atmosphere, and even you see many people's face in this virtual tower. So you are very welcome to take this opportunity to learn a bit more about this campus. Next. Okay, so then I will briefly introduce this master program in automation and electrical engineering. So this program actually has a kind of structure with 15 joint courses in project work, which is about 10 ECTS, the credit unit in Europe, and as well as these 3 ECTS course on academic skills in math studies, and also 2 ECTS for math thesis processes. Then there are 3 majors on electronic and digital systems and electrical power and energy engineering, as well as control, robotics, and autonomous systems. So you will hear very quickly some brief introduction of these 3 majors. So each major have those major courses, about 50 ECTS. Then you have a master thesis, which is usually taken a bit a later part of your study for 30 ECTS. Then you can also have these freely elective and courses, also some composite language studies. So that's altogether is 25 ECTS. Okay. And yeah, so there are 3 majors in control, robotics, and autonomous systems, electronics and digital systems, and electrical power and energy engineering. So the professors of these 3 majors will introduce you some, the basic composition and the ideas behind different majors.
Okay, so if I now introduce this electrical power and energy engineering major, so first you can see some items of like what you will learn in this major. So you learn how modern power systems work, about like transmission and distribution, smart grids, renewable energy, and key devices like electric machines and power electronics, including their control methods. And you also learn how to design and analyze these systems and improve energy efficiency and integrate renewables. So then it depends like what you would like to focus on, like you can choose like to focus more on power systems or more on energy conversion devices. So there are a lot of options. We also in this major connect theory to practice in like through our labs and various kind of projects, and also some industry linked coursework or master's thesis in many cases. So you can apply fundamental theories to real problems in this major, and also applies to other majors as well. And you will use advanced computational and simulation tools as part of your studies, and data analysis, machine learning, AI methods in this major to optimize energy systems or like conversion devices, for example. You can see the list of study tracks. So as mentioned, there are like these kind of like two bigger themes like energy and power systems, and then like these kind of conversion related things like electric powertrains, for example, which includes like electric machines, power electronics, and these kind of things. Then about careers and industry related to this major. So typically graduates like from this major, they might first work as product designers or like in R&D basically often, then maybe project managers, technical experts, consultants, researchers, and so on. And many also start or like are linked to like some startup activities or continue their doctoral studies. Maybe one final point about this major is that Finland has quite strong power and energy industry. We have some large international companies, including like ABB, Danfoss, Kone, for example, as well as big energy companies, as well as dynamic startups. So this helps then like to find also master's thesis positions. So I think that's all from my side about this master, but I encourage you to ask questions then in the chat.
So shall we move on to EDS then?
Yes, okay. I will introduce the Electric and Digital Systems, or EDS as we call it. So it's about like learning to design and implement technical devices in broad sense. So they are typically some kind of like you can think of like a smart watch which contains like a processor, sensors, electronics, and these electronics and the software inside communicate together and then compute, for example, their location in space, and then maybe some other signals based on the sensors and movement together. And another example is some kind of sports tracking device. So it's a small device with software and hardware. Mobile phone has software and hardware and sensors. Cars have software, hardware, sensors, even camera sensors. And then aeroplanes have them. So they are. So this electric and digital systems is about when these hardware or electronics and the software in digital form communicate together. So more broadly, it's about embedded systems, sensor technology, data processing. And indeed, the applications and also the typical workplaces or jobs are in the development of smart devices, watches, sports equipment, health devices, medical devices. And indeed, health and medical technology broadly is very popular job market for these kinds of skills, especially in Finland nowadays. Well, flying things, well, even those drones, which are not, well, you can use them for good, but also they are a bit in bad reputation right now. But then we also have these grocery robots, which are bringing some food to home. So those kinds of devices could be that you could be developing here. And indeed, both hardware and the software. We have two study tracks. So they are embedded systems and sensing, which is more in that software and intelligence side of the devices. So given the hardware, you learn how to develop intelligent software, data analysis methods, and how to process the sensor data so that the device knows where it is and kind of has knowledge about the environment. And then we have integrated smart systems, which is more about designing the sensors themselves and the hardware so that it can be used to build these kind of intelligence systems by adding in the software. And yes, I also mentioned what kind of companies. So all kinds of companies which develop smart devices are typical jobs, and then also the theses which are done. They are like I'm just thinking which one's like a medical is one area, but then also like a sports. Then all kinds of security devices have been recently, and then also like a computer vision based like a tracking systems. So there's a lot of different opportunities with these skills. Okay, so let's go on.
Okay, then it's Joni's turn and control robotics and autonomous systems.
So hi. Yeah, so control robotics and autonomous systems, this is a quite wide major. So the skills you will learn in this major are rather general and can be applied in different kind of problem settings. From the basics that you will learn modeling, estimation, and control of dynamical systems. So basically everything you need to learn to get the robot to do something you want it to do. An example could be, for example, if you want to control a mobile machine, you need to estimate the location of the machine and maybe estimate how the environment looks like. And then you can create a model of the environment and the machine. And then based on the model, you can control the machine to do what you want. So this is kind of like one example application. And this kind of like skills can be used a wide variety of different application domains. So for example, controlling mobile heavy machines, but also in factory automation, smart living environments, and so on. The another thing you will learn is how to program embedded systems and create software for modern robotics and automation systems. Then we have example study tracks. So these study tracks are not strict tracks, but they're kind of like examples how you can structure your studies to make it easier for you to kind of like choose courses so that they kind of like fit together. So the first one is the automation and software engineering track, where we focus more on software engineering in the automation context. Second is control engineering, where we focus on control engineering applications and learning the basics of control, which can then be used in many different application domains, like controlling things in factories or chemical industry or any kind of like industry or kind of like machines. So the skills are rather general, but also the skills enable you to do a versatile selection of different jobs. Then the third study track is factory automation. Then there's robotics and autonomous systems track, intelligence systems track, and then the smart living environment track, which is also about kind of like how to control, for example, temperature in a building and so on. But in general, this kind of like major allows you to choose your studies also. So if you don't want to do that, you can also just follow the study tracks, but then it's also possible to kind of like, if you have a specific kind of jobs or interest, you can also incorporate them rather easily into your studies. Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Okay, and then back to Chen.
Okay, yes. So thanks these three professors giving this introduction to these three majors, and you hear that this program, this automation and electrical engineering program, actually is very versatile, and it's a combination of theories, methodology, and also hands-on experimental courses. So there are lots of different elements, and so they bridging the analytical understanding also this real world engineering practices. So this is, I think, important kind of training that for you to become a qualified engineer or prepare for the future PhD study. And from this, how the teaching is carried out, there are actually a mixture of lectures, group works, and also lab experiments, and also projects. And some courses are also using some flipped classroom approach, for example, that you watch the video, then probably you discuss and study more deeply in the contact sessions. And the teaching is very much can be individualized, so that as you mentioned, as you heard, that this we have many study paths which are provided for you to see as examples. But also, if you have a very clear, say, motivation or kind of a wish to study something in depth, and you can also formulate your own study path with, of course, the permission of the responsible professors. And the learning at the Aalto and also, of course, in this program is, say, supported by largely by this online my course platform. So many of these teaching, of course, in the contact, but many of the assignments or these even some exams can be done online. And there are also, as we mentioned, there's a project course that bring you these real life or industry relevant cases that will say make you have a deeper dive into some specific topics. Next. And also this aalto-yliopisto and of course this department, we have lots of relevant say kind of research facilities and study facilities that will help you to have a deep dive into certain different topics. For example, we have this Aalto robot lab, which hosts a variety of mobile robots and robotic manipulators. There's also this so-called Aalto Factory of the Future, the test bed for innovation of future industrial automations. And also there's a wearable system lab for developing and testing wearable devices. And also we have this Micronova, the largest clean room facility in Nordic countries, that provides advanced labs for micro and nanotechnologies. And we also have this e-Power Hub, which provides this cutting-edge lab for research and education in power electronics, electrical machines and drives, and also renewable energy integrations. And also we have this Aalto Studio Media Center. So those site facilities can be accessed in certain, for example, labs or some internship with the research groups. Okay, maybe similar, right?
Yes, so this is one of the examples of coursework, so actually like a project that you will do during your studies, and then like it illustrates the like a combination of theoretical aspects and the practical aspects. So this is actually a course given by me, which is about sensor fusion. So it is when you have some device or robot, and then you have sensors, and you want to write the software, which is like a computing, say, location or estimating the environment from the sensor. So how do you develop the software? So this course is about that. So it actually covers the mathematics of processing sensor data. So you use something called least squares methods and state estimators and differential equations. So that's the mathematics. But then also it goes to algorithms. So how to actually implement the software. So there's like a optimization methods, optimal filtering, and then we don't only go through the like abstract algorithms, but also there are exercises about how to write the Python programming language code to implement this optimization and this optimization. And then finally, you will learn the skills that you are able to actually implement such a sensor fusion method. So for that purpose, so on the right top, you see that rover. So it actually contains like a more small Raspberry Pi processor inside, which is able to read the sensors. So the sensors are camera, and then actually like a magnetometer. Then you can like sense the speed from the wheels, and then rotation speed and so on. And you can also control all of them. And your task is to actually like first go to the lab and then just collect some sensor data. And then you will develop the computational algorithm in Python language, which will compute the location of the device. And then, well, you can even deploy that inside the device, so you have an autonomous device which is able to navigate. Of course, this is very much the same which right now in a Mars planet, exploring the territory. Well, maybe it's slightly more complicated, but the principle is the same. And yes, so we have these kinds of very practical projects also on the courses. So thank you.
Thank you, Simon, for giving an example. I will move on to the topic of internship and career opportunities. So as we have already said, automation and electrical engineering program is pretty broad. So it's impossible to list out all the job titles that you might end up with. But here are some examples that our alumni, what kind of titles they might be having. So everything from product designer to consultant and chief executive officer. So there's pretty many things on the list already there, and the list keeps going on. We also have career support or career services. We call them Career Design Lab, and it's a really nice spot because they offer tips and advice for career design and job hunt. And sometimes it's in the form of different kind of career events and fairs. Sometimes people go on excursion to different kind of companies. There's also a possibility to have training sessions to develop job hunting skills. Because, for example, if you apply for a job in Finland or in India or in Australia, it might be a bit different. For example, how is your CV supposed to look like in Finland might be different than in other countries. Then we also have internship grants, both for internships done here in Finland, but also for internships done abroad. And then a really nice addition is the Aalto mentoring program, where our alumni will be tutoring or mentoring students of Aalto University and kind of telling about their path in working life and showing how things have gone for them, so that the students can kind of reflect on what their own path might be. But here are some examples what kind of events and things are offered at the Career Design Lab. So once you come to Otaniemi, keep this one in mind as well. But Jan, maybe you will continue with the cooperation with the industry and international universities.
Yeah, right. Probably I can also briefly address this part. So actually for our program, actually also for many other programs in Aalto University. So one of these major components is this master thesis. And this is very actually unique probably in Finland, or at least in Aalto, that we have a very industrialized master thesis. So that means these master theses usually is carried out in cooperation with industry partners. And the majority of our master theses are conducted actually in industry, and where these theses are guided by these supervisors or advisors at the company. And of course, we have also many other kind of collaborations through research or through kind of other kind of interactions with many companies in Finland. And you can see many of these names of the companies listed as in the slides. And there are also kind of these international corporations with universities, several universities, and there are different agreements, and some of them are limited to certain major, and some of them are program-wide. Probably you can learn more details if you want later with these, probably from Ali or from other for more information.
But now it's time for Rangit to come here on stage. So we have our second year student here to tell about their experiences. So welcome, and how has it been?
Yeah, thank you, Ali. So hello everyone. So this is Rangit. I am a second year master student in electrical power and energy engineering. So a bit of background about me. I am from India and I completed my bachelor's back there. Then I was working as a manufacturing engineer, and I always wanted to shift my career towards research and development. So I identified that there are some technical gaps and I need to complete a master's for that. So when I was searching for a country which can offer high quality education, so Finland generally stood out because if you check the rankings and all the indexes, you will always find Finland in top 5. And also Finland is always standing out for its high quality research and innovation, and it is a very good startup hub in all over Europe, if I may say. So yeah, so that's really stood out for me, the efforts that Finland puts into research and developments and the high quality innovations. And one thing that I didn't know when I was applying is that if you are an electric drives enthusiast, so the first frequency converter was invented here in Finland. So that would be an interesting fact to know. But yeah, I didn't know, but yeah, it was really great when I came to know that. And talking about Aalto University, so as already the professors has mentioned already that it ranks number 1 in Finland. And when I was going through the research pages that I think you can also find in Google in the website of Aalto, there are many high quality research groups who were working on cutting edge research topics. And it was really interesting for me to learn about them. And I always wanted to pursue those research and I wanted to be part of them. So it really attracted me a lot to apply for Aalto, and especially when I looked for my research areas or my focus areas like power electronics or electric machines, I found there are some really good research topics that are going on. So that really caught my eye, and I was really excited to be part of Aalto. And talking about the education here, so the best thing I would say in Finland, this is that low hierarchy system that we have it here. It's very common here in Finland, but coming from Asian background like me, it was a very different feeling at the beginning. So the best thing is that the professors are very approachable. You can always reach out to them if you have any queries, and they always make you feel that we are all equal. So yeah, it was really great feeling for me. And if I talk about the courses and curriculums, so the best thing or the major difference that I found from my bachelor's is that the courses are specially designed for as per the industrial requirements. So the skills that we develop, the theories that we read, the assignments that we do are very much relevant in the industry. So that was really helpful for me. And also we do several projects in several courses, and there is a special course called project work which we have to do. It's a 10 credit course, so where we are given topics, project topics which are very relevant in the industry or which are being carried out in the research groups in Aalto. So we are given a guide from that research group who helps us to overcome the challenges, to understand the topic, and to learn new skills which are very much in demand in the industry. So that these are the main topics that I wanted to highlight and which have been really been helpful for me. And another thing was I especially wanted to talk the importance of the courses in Aalto is that when I was interviewing for a summer trainee job here in Finland, so the questions that I were asked in the interview were already taught in one of the courses which I pursued, and the skills that I learned were very helpful. So when I asked some of my friends who are in other universities in Finland, they didn't have these topics in their courses. So there I got a real life example that okay, what I am being taught here in Aalto is really very helpful and much which is aligns perfectly with the industry. So yeah, it has been a really great journey, and when I look back, I am really happy that I made this decision to join Aalto to pursue my masters. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type in the chat and I can answer. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful for you, and I'm excited to see you all maybe next year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rangit, for sharing your story and your experience. And definitely, if you have any questions for Rangit, go for it and send the question to Q&A so he can continue telling about how the journey has been. Nevertheless, for you to be able to start your journey, we of course need to go through the admissions information. So first of all, there is admissions information page online. Surprise, surprise. So aalto.fi/n/admissions-services. And if my colleague would be so nice that they could put it to the chat box for everybody to see, and also be able to put it to their own browsers. So the next application period is already opening in December. So this is the perfect time to start thinking about what kind of documents you might be needing. Is there any language test you might be needing to take, and so on. So it's a very good thing that you're joining this webinar here. There's application instructions on the web page, but also please remember to take a look at the automation and electrical engineering program's own study option page. If my colleague would be so nice that you could link it there as well, because besides what is needed for all the master's programs, when you're applying to Aalto University, of course, you need a bachelor's degree, and that needs to be finished by next summer. And also, you will be needing some kind of a proof of your language, English language proficiency. There's also something that is needed that is especially for this program, and it might be different from the other programs. So if you're applying to multiple different programs, so it's important that you will go and check out the study option page of this program. So basically, just for you to get a quick info on what will be needed from the program side, is that we have this motivation questionnaire where we will be asking, like, why do you want to study in this program, and which major you're choosing, and so on. Also, we want to see your CV, and then there are some extra documents as well. For example, if you have published any papers and so on. So that's why it's really important that you go and check out the study option page as well. There's also information on the tuition fees and the scholarships online. So definitely, if you are a student who's coming from outside of European Union, EEA, or Swiss area, so then go and check out what is the tuition fee like, and also what kind of scholarship options we do have available. If you have any questions later on, first of all, you can of course use this webinar to ask any possible questions, but also we have this email address, masters-elek@aalto.fi, that we use to answer any kind of possible questions about admissions, and later on about the studies as well. So please use the email address. And then we have already reached the Q&A session. So please send out any possible questions to the Q&A. And we will do so that because we are recording this webinar as well. So as we want people to be able to see what kind of things other people are pondering on. So I will be reading some of the questions, and please, my colleagues here at the panel, help me to answer the questions. So the first question that we received was that when you mentioned that participation in academic research is valued, do you tend to focus more on the applicant's research approach and analytical skills, or on the concrete research outcomes they have achieved? I understand the program is quite competitive. From your perspective, what kind of personal qualities or mindset do successful students usually have? So, for example, Chen, what, in your opinion, what kind of personal qualities or mindset do the successful students usually have?
I think we are, of course, looking for students that can excel in the study, of course, but also have this critical thinking, and also open-minded, right? Because the most important is that your academic excellence, you can demonstrate that you can, because I mean, we're checking mainly what you have achieved, and you demonstrate your kind of devotion, and also the quality that you can carry out outside your study in your specific field.
How about the major heads? Would you like to add something from your point of view? What kind of personal qualities or mindset do successful students usually have?
Okay,
Well,
if I say a few words, I already typed something there in Q&A, but like motivation, I think is pretty important, and also like that, like one is curious regarding new things and collaborative. We have various team works or assignments that can be done in pairs or groups, and like it is maybe one learning outcome as well that you will be able to work in teams. So that's something maybe worth mentioning. And then, like regarding this, if publications are required, I agree with Rangit, like that it's not necessary to have publications. Like when you apply, it can be extra, like if you have such worth listing. But if you don't have any publications, still you have very good chances, like if otherwise application is strong.
yes, I can also emphasize is that no, you don't need to worry about if you don't have public. Most of people don't have publications at that this stage, so it's not absolutely necessary. But then adding to Marco's like motivation and curiosity. So actually, when you have them, then you end up. So the studying hard actually becomes fun because you have the motivation to do it. So to succeed, you actually need to put effort. But the best way to put the effort is to be motivated, interested in them. You want to learn it. So we want you to get into that kind of mode. We try to forward you to be in that kind of mode on our courses, so that you want to learn. You want to like learn how that system works and how you would build it yourself. And if you as a student get into that kind of flow, then you will succeed, or you will succeed very easily, I would say.
How about Rangit? Would you still like to add something?
Yeah, so what professors have already added, I agree to that. Of course, it is good if you have some publications, and it's of course better to show them. But what I also answered in the Q&A, if you have done some good projects, then you should highlight them in your CV, and you should mention the skills that you have used there. If you know some programming languages or some specific skills that are relevant to the major that you believe would be helpful. And also, if you have some work experience in those relevant fields, so that also will be helpful, and that will, of course, make you stand out. So, yeah, so having publications is not the only criteria. There are several other things that can strengthen your profile.
And my best tip for all the applicants is that when you're filling the motivation questionnaire that is required from all applicants applying to this program, please remember that answer the questions yourself, because we want to hear from you and not from some large language model. So we want to hear your own words on why you're applying to this program. Okay, then we have another question. I noticed that the electrical power and energy engineering major includes both power systems and energy conversion. Does the program lean more toward large-scale grid and transmission systems, or toward smaller-scale power, electronics, and converter applications? So, Marco, this is for you.
Yeah, I think both are covered. So we have professors in both energy and power conversion, and then in power systems and transmission systems were also mentioned. We have actually one professor of practice who is focusing or specialized in transmission system, working also in FinGrid, which is like this national transmission system in Finland, as an example. Then like also like about power electronics and energy conversion, it's not only about like small scale. I mean, like they can be multi-megawatt devices, something like in wind turbines, for example. So those we do not have in the laboratory. Of course, it's not feasible, but like what we teach here, like methods and models and so on, they are applicable to like to very high power systems as well. But I think this is what I had in mind, and maybe I don't know, Rangit is from this major, if you have something to add or comment on this. Or maybe one point still, you can then focus on either one, like, or you can study both. Like if, let's say, if you are interested in grid-connected converters, for example, then like both power systems and power electronics are important. but typically students maybe a little bit focus either side, like power and energy systems or power conversion.
Yeah, it's basically dependent on the student's interest. So we have got everything covered here. So that is a very good, and we have very good professors and all the courses are good. So basically it depends on your interest, what career path you want to pursue and what are the courses that you want to take. So yeah, we have both small scale and large scale. All of them are covered.
Okay, then we have the next question. What aspects of an applicant's profile are most important for admissions to this master's program? For example, how much weight is typically placed on academic grades compared to research experience, personal statement, or professional background? And from your experience, what qualities or achievements tend to make applicants stand out in this program? First of all, I definitely recommend all of you to go and check out the study option page, because we have written out there what is the what are the admissions criteria, so you can go through them there. Nevertheless, what we have there are, just a moment, I will show you. So we have this study option page for automation and electrical engineering. So if you scroll all the way down, so you can see this evaluation criteria. So we have relevance of previous studies. So basically, what is your bachelor like? Maybe if you have done some extra courses after your bachelor's in a university, like non-degree studies, those might be able to have some effect on this one as well, but mainly your bachelor's. Then we have academic performance. So how has your GPA been in your bachelor's? Then recognition and quality of institution. So how is your previous institution ranking in the international and national rankings of higher education institutions? And then the last but not least is the suitability, where we will be checking your motivation and commitment for studies. And by this, we will be checking the motivation questionnaire and the CV. And on this page, you can also find the motivation questionnaire. So definitely recommend all of you guys to go and check out the page. Does anybody have anything to add to this question?
I think what is very clear that we have written. Yeah, so just read this carefully, and of course, if you have some questions on this now, then of course we can try to answer. But otherwise, I believe this is important.
Okay, then we have the question, how many scholarships are provided? Is it provided in general for this program or divided separately into 3 majors? So to be honest, we don't know the exact number of the scholarships ourselves either yet, because it depends on how many non-EU, EEA Swiss citizens are applying to this program. So how many people who are tuition fee liable are applying and would be in the quota of the program. Nevertheless, there is these scholarships are quite competitive, so that's good to keep in mind. And all of the scholarships of this program go to the program, and they are not separated based on the major. So I hope that this answers as much as we can give you an answer, because we don't know the final number of the scholarships ourselves yet either. And then we have for publications, if they're in another language, not English, Swedish, or Finnish, is an English abstract required. For CV items like projects conducted during industry work experience, would a signed letter from a supervisor be acceptable as a supporting proof? Well, let's start with the publications. If you have an English abstract, this definitely will be appreciated. However, we have people with quite versatile language capabilities within the department. So it is important that you would be able to at least put the links and or the copy of the publication to your application. So if you have the abstract, that will be appreciated, but it is not required. For the CV, So for CV items like projects conducted during industry work experience, would a signed letter from a supervisor be acceptable as a supporting proof? For the application itself, we will only need the CV. Nevertheless, if we feel that there's something that we want to double check, we might be in contact with you to ask for the extra proof. Anything to add by the colleagues in the panel?
I think this you just provided the evidence that you felt that is sufficient. Because nowadays with AI, if we want to translate any language, usually that's not a problem. So, but if you, for convenience, yeah, it's great to have some English abstract.
Then the next one is, if an applicant's grades are average rather than outstanding, do you still look closely at their projects and experience, or could a decision be made based mainly on the transcript? I think this depends on the year as well. So it depends on the number of applications we receive. So if we receive hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of applications, then it might be that we only at the beginning check mainly the GPA. Nevertheless, if there are less applications because these numbers fluctuate depending on the year, then it might be that we take a look at the whole application already from the beginning.
Yeah, it's just fundamentally it's a kind of competitive. I mean, it's comparing to the other applicants, right? So.
Yes. Okay. Currently, I think our Q&A box is empty. If you still have any extra questions, bring it on. We're here for you guys. So let us know if there's any possible questions that might be bothering your hearts currently. Okay, now we have a new question. Will I have an option in my application for the master's degree to request accommodation, or will it be in a separate form? What are the price range for students to live there? I think Rangit will be also able to help with this question, but I'll start. So Aalto University itself, we don't have any dorms for the university. The Aalto University Student Union, so the student body owns student housing, and there's another student housing provider in the Helsinki region called HOAS that also has student housing. So there are two different student housing providers. And besides that, there's also, for example, the cities of Espoo and Helsinki provide housing. And then there's also different kind of organizations that provide housing, and of course the private market. So there's quite a lot of options. And I would say that the housing prices, of course, depend on what kind of apartment you would like to have. So if you have an apartment that you share with somebody, so that you would have your own room, but like joint kitchen area or living room area, usually those are more cheaper. If you want to have your own apartment and maybe have multiple different rooms, then it can't be as much as ever. So you know, the price range is varying a lot. But Rangit, would you like to add something to the housing side of things?
Yeah, so you can get some idea about the price ranges from the websites of AYY and HOAS, which are the two major apartment providers. Regarding the price range, so as Ali mentioned, if you are sharing your apartment with someone, then maybe somewhere around 300 to 400 euros per month. And if you want to have your own studio or your own apartment, then of course the prices will go up. But on an average, yeah, it's 300 to 400 euros per month if you want to have a rough idea.
Is there anything that anybody else in the panel would like to add about the housing? At least my colleague just put to the chat the AYY housing link and then the HOAS link for housing as well. So you can go there and check out the pages. You get a better view of how is the student housing situation like here. We have a couple more questions. So is there any limitation for the scholarship percentage What I mean is that, are there any limitations on the scholarship percentage? Is it full or half? I would like to know the maximum scholarship percentage. For example, do they provide 100%, or is there a specific limit? Very good question. So our current scholarships are tuition fee waivers, and they are 100% tuition fee waivers. So a very good question there, because we didn't mention this before. And then approximately how many applicants does the program receive each year, and how many are usually admitted? Well, this is a hard question in that sense that the numbers of applications change each year. We have hundreds of applications each year, but for example, there might be even difference of hundreds each, like from one year to another. So we cannot say like what exact number is going to be there for this year, but we can say that usually we have had hundreds of applications. Jan or anybody else, would you like to add anything to this one, or are we happy?
This varies so much year to year. I mean, and there are some quite dramatic differences during the past 5-10 years, let's say this way. So I think Alice, you're accurate enough to say hundreds, but this varies a lot. And I think how many were admitted, I think it's the number also changes a lot, right?
Yes.
Can you give some estimation, or what do you see?
Well, it's tens, so less than 100, but still tens, and depending on each year, there's a different number of people starting. But we also have a reserve list. So if people don't get chosen at the first round, then there's a possibility to get the spot also from a reserve list. So we have a queue. So if you are left in the queue, no need to worry about that, in that sense that there is a good possibility still to get in. But just to keep in mind that this is an option as well, that all is not lost even if you would not be chosen during the first round. It's already 1:57, so we have time for a couple more questions. So we have a question saying that I have completed a Bachelor of Science in IT with a specialization in computer systems and network engineering. I also have a publication related to robotics and IoT. Can I apply for this program? So Jan, I will give this one for you.
Of course you can apply, of course, certainly. So we will evaluate students based on what he studied and also based on what he experienced, because both are important. But finally, I mean, of course, we cannot guarantee that, depending, I mean, on the different other applicants. So you will get the chance or not.
And yes, we have had a lot of applicants with IT and computer science background. So wouldn't be the first application with that kind of an.
Yes, we have students like that.
Yes.
Maybe one tip, if with this kind of background, if one has that kind of, let's say, projects in GitHub, some contribution to open source projects or own projects, those can be also listed, worth listing in CV. It can show similar extra value publications could.
And in the motivation questionnaire, yet again, tell why with this background you want to come to this program. So we want to know more about you. So use the motivation questionnaire and let us know who you are.
Yes, and if I also add is that so computer science is a very good background, but then when you study computer science a lot, you tend to leave something out, and that something is typically in signal processing, control engineering, mathematics. So you might want to tell if you know more about them than your study transcripts tell.
And here
for example,
again,
if you have so for example, if you have those examples of projects, they demonstrate these skills very well.
And if you go to this relevance of previous studies section in the study option page, there you can kind of see what we're expecting from a candidate and from their background. So please go and check that one out. Okay, I think we are starting to be ready. It is already 2 o'clock. Oh, there's one more question. I think we can still manage to answer this one. So do students get help for buying necessities like laptops and books? So for laptops, this is something that you will need to take care of by yourself. There are some laptops that you can also borrow from the university, but just keep in mind that there's only like a limited time frame that you can use it. Of course, we have like IT labs as well, so you can go and use the computer at the campus as well, but it's usually way easier if you have your own computer. For the books, I think it depends on the course, if a book is even needed. Sometimes teachers are using articles that you can get through our library services and so on. So I think it depends definitely on the course. Do the teachers have anything to add?
Yes, I could add this that on my courses, the books are available like online, so they are in PDF form. And in many other courses, actually, our university library provides electronic copies of many of the books. So you can just log into the library and then read the book online for free.
Thank
So
you for this
physical
addition.
books are not usually needed.
Yeah, I think many courses also just mainly rely on these course handouts. So I think the book is not most important, but some course depends on them still.
Okay, so now we have used 1 more minute than we told that we would, and as we are punctual Finns, so I will say that it's time for us to end this webinar. So thank you very much for joining today, and we are really much waiting forward to see your applications. So remember, the next application round will be in December, starting in December, so go and check out what is needed for the application, and remember to send your application in due time so that you won't be missing out on anything. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.